B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natziach, HANNUKA Sameach, Happy Hanukkah, Shabbat Shalom. This week's PARSHA is MIKETZ. And the Midrash says a beautiful thing about this PARSHA. MIKETZ means the end. It was the end of 14 years of suffering, of YOSEF being in the prison, in the dungeon. And the Midrash quotes a pasuk from Yeshaya, Ketz Sam Lachoshech, that we should know evil and pain and darkness is only temporary. Hashem put a limit to it. There's no limit to God's love. There's no limit to God's hugging us and enlightening us forever and ever. Because make no mistake, mein Rebbe, Harav Eliezer ben David, said that the light of heaven lasts not for 1 trillion years, it lasts forever, eternity. It is limitless. But sometimes it's so painful when we have a struggle, like the struggle of the MACCABES, like the struggle of YOSEF. The Midrash says that this week's Parsha is all about to never lose hope. And that's the common denominator. Always in the Jewish calendar, this week's Parsha coincides with the festival of Hanukkah. And just like Yosef never got depressed, even though he was backstabbed by his brothers twice, and he was in a dungeon, some of the best and most ripe years of his life, he was in a dungeon, in a prison, falsely accused of adultery. But Yosef never lost hope. And is that not the ultimate test every second of our life? That ultimately in life, we can't control the external factors. But one thing we can control is, do we lose faith or do we still have faith? Because we have to know every second of life is a test. And the test is coming to make us greater. But do we realize that this is just a test from Hashem and we should stay strong and positive and happy? Or should we, God forbid, lose faith and become depressed? The common denominator between Hanukkah and Yosef is that Yosef never lost hope. The Maccabees never lost hope, even though they only had a little bit oil, even though they were a minuscule army against the vast, superpower of Syrian Greece. But the Maccabees fought the good fight, and that's what we have to realize. In life, sometimes we get to the rock bottom, like Yosef, 14 years of torture and dungeon, Maccabees being beaten to death, not letting their kids being Brit Milah, not being able to learn Torah. That's why we spin the dreidel. But you should know, darkness is just the lack of light. There is no real, it's just it's just a test from God. The only real thing is God. Ein od milavado. All these things are false gods. They're false. So if we stay strong and stay happy, then we will always see miracles in our life like Yosef. We will become great. Amen. Kein ratzon. May God lighten up all the hearts of the suffering people, and we see Mashiach soon. Amen.